Hello, I'm Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and welcome back to my official channel.
Hello, I'm Jacqueline McInnes Wood, and welcome back to my official channel. Grab the biggest cup of coffee you can find, maybe even a pot, because we have an absolute mountain of madness to unpack today. And honestly, my eyes are practically bleeding from staring at this screen for so long. It is 3 a.m. here. I am running on fumes, stale coffee, and pure unfiltered soap opera adrenaline. But I just had to get this out to you guys right now because the spoilers I am looking at for The Bold and the Beautiful are just, they're completely insane. I mean, we all knew this was coming. We all saw the writing on the wall. But seeing it actually unfold is a whole different beast. So let's just dive right into the absolute dumpster fire that is Deacon Sharp's life right now, because the man is a walking disaster. He really is. So here is the situation. Deacon Sharp is currently playing house. He is married to Sheila Sharp. Yes, that's Sheila, the nine-toed menace who has terrorized Los Angeles for decades. And for a hot minute, Deacon actually had us all fooled. He had us thinking he was genuinely happy in this twisted, bizarre little marriage. He was smiling. He was serving pizzas at Il Giardino. He was defending her to everyone who would listen, but it was all a ruse. A massive, exhausting, soul-crushing ruse, because The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers reveal that Deacon Sharp may not be able to keep up his happy marriage act with Sheila Sharp indefinitely. And let's be real, who could? Faking happiness is exhausting under normal circumstances. But faking it with a woman who has a rap sheet longer than a CVS receipt, that takes a toll on a man's soul. And the cracks are starting to show. Big time. Because Taylor Hayes is back in the picture. And Taylor Hayes is the woman Deacon truly wants, not Sheila. Taylor, the respected, beautiful, world-renowned psychiatrist, the complete opposite of his current wife. And it is getting harder and harder for Deacon to pretend that he can be satisfied with Sheila. I mean, just think about the sheer mental gymnastics Deacon has to do every single day. He wakes up next to Sheila. He looks at her. He has to smile and pretend she is the love of his life. While his brain is screaming for Taylor, it is a psychological torture chamber of his own making. And he put himself there. That is the craziest part. He married her, but now the reality of that choice is suffocating him. Let's talk about the bedroom situation, because the spoilers gave us a detail that is just, wow. It is messy. It is so messy. Deacon gave Sheila an amazing night recently. They were in bed together. They had this incredible romp. Sheila probably thought it was the most romantic, passionate night of her life. She probably thought her husband was completely, totally devoted to her, but he wasn't there at all. Mentally, Deacon was miles away, because while he was in bed with Sheila, he was fantasizing about Taylor. Just close your eyes and imagine the level of desperation it takes to do that. He is holding his wife, but he is closing his eyes and picturing another woman, pretending the woman in his arms is Taylor Hayes. It is dark, it is twisted, and it is a massive red flag that this marriage is doomed, because Deacon obviously isn't content in this marriage. He is faking the passion. He is faking the connection, and it goes way beyond just physical attraction. Deacon knows his kids don't approve of Sheila, and that is a huge, heavy burden for him to carry. Hope Logan has made her feelings perfectly clear. She hates Sheila. Everyone hates Sheila. Deacon alienated his own flesh and blood to marry this woman. He thought love would conquer all. He thought he could handle being the outcast of Los Angeles as long as he had Sheila. But he was wrong. The isolation is getting to him. He misses his family. He misses being a respected father and grandfather. And he knows deep down in his bones that as long as he is shackled to Sheila, he will never have his family back. But Taylor represents everything he wants. She represents respectability. She represents class. If he were with Taylor, he wouldn't be the town pariah anymore. He would be the guy who managed to land the classy doctor. And that is intoxicating for a guy like Deacon, who has spent his entire life in the gutter. At some point, B&B, spoilers suggest Deacon might decide he just can't take it anymore. The pressure of faking it, the guilt over his kids, the burning, undeniable lust he has for Taylor, it is all going to boil over. Keeping up this ruse of a blissful Sheila relationship may not be something Deacon can do forever. Actually, let me rephrase that. It is absolutely impossible for him to do it forever. The man is going to snap, and that breaking point is coming fast, especially because Taylor and Deacon are playing a very dangerous game right now. Steffi Forrester Finnegan has warned Taylor. She has drawn a line in the sand. She told her mother to stay away from Deacon, or else she will cut her out of the family. But Taylor isn't listening. Taylor is rebelling. She is acting like a lovesick teenager, and the attraction between her and Deacon is sizzling. It is off the charts. And the bold and the beautiful spoilers tease that it is only a matter of time before Taylor and Deacon inevitably surrender to temptation. They are going to cross the line. They are going to hit the sheets. And when they do, all hell is going to break loose. Because once Deacon has a little taste of the woman he actually wants, everything changes. His mind may be blown. The physical reality of being with Taylor is going to shatter whatever fragile illusion he has been maintaining with Sheila. He won't be able to go back to that little apartment above Il Giardino and look Sheila in the eye. He won't be able to fake it in bed anymore. Because once you have the real thing, the fantasy isn't enough. And faking it with someone you don't want becomes physically repulsive. Deacon is going to be left completely unable to fake it with Sheila any longer. He will be ruined for her. Absolutely ruined. So what does he do? He is trapped. He is married to a psychotic murderer, and he is in love with her mortal enemy. It is the ultimate soap opera dilemma, and Deacon is a coward. Let's just call a spade a spade. Deacon Sharp has never been a brave man when it comes to facing the consequences of his actions. He weaves webs of lies because he is terrified of confrontation. So he isn't going to just walk into the apartment and say, hey, Sheila, I slept with Taylor and I want a divorce. No, that would be suicide. Literally, Sheila would probably stab him with a pizza cutter. So Deacon needs a strategy. He needs a way out that doesn't end with him in a body bag. Perhaps Deacon could finally test the waters with Sheila, see how she might react to them splitting up without dropping the ultimate bomb on her. Instead of announcing he's found someone else, which would trigger her murderous rage, or even pushing for a full-blown divorce right out of the gate, which would make her feel abandoned and rejected. Maybe Deacon could start small. Maybe he could start by admitting he wants a separation, just a break, some time apart, a pause on the marriage. It is a classic coward's move, easing out the door instead of ripping off the Band-Aid. Even a separation is going to be a massive shock to the system for Sheila. Sheila is still going to be completely blindsided if Deacon asks for that. I mean, think about it from her perspective. She thinks everything is perfect. She thinks they are the ultimate underdog couple. They just had this amazing, passionate night in bed. She thinks he is more in love with her than ever. And then out of nowhere, he sits her down and says he needs space. It is going to feel like a Mack truck hitting her at 90 miles an hour. She is not going to understand where it is coming from because in her twisted mind, they are soulmates. But for Deacon, asking for a separation would be better than totally calling it quits on the marriage right then and there. It gives him breathing room. It gives him an excuse to move out of the apartment, to stop sleeping in her bed, to stop faking the smiles, and most importantly, it gives him the freedom to sneak around with Taylor without having to constantly lie about where he is every single second of the night. It is a tactical retreat, and it would definitely be better than confessing what's really going on with Taylor. Because if Sheila finds out about Taylor, we are looking at a hostage situation, or a murder, or both. Steffi would be right in the line of fire again. It would be a bloodbath. So picture this scene. I can see it so clearly in my head right now. We could totally imagine Deacon sitting Sheila down in their little living room. The tension is thick. He is sweating. He is nervous. He knows he is poking a sleeping bear. and he insists that he thinks they need some time apart. He will use all the classic cliches. It's not you, it's me. I just have a lot on my mind. I need to figure out my relationship with my kids. Deacon may make excuses and act like they just don't connect the way they should anymore. He will try to gaslight her a little bit, make her think the spark is gone naturally. And Sheila is going to be sitting there staring at him completely bewildered, because to her, the spark is a raging inferno. She will probably bring up their recent intimacy. She will say, but Deacon, what about the other night? It was incredible. And Deacon will have to sit there and lie to her face again. Even if Sheila thought their bedroom romp was incredible, Deacon will have to pretend it wasn't enough to save the marriage. He will have to break her heart while trying not to trigger her psychotic tendencies. It is a tightrope walk over a volcano. If Deacon makes a separation announcement, it might be a good way for him to evaluate Sheila's reaction. He needs data. He needs to know how crazy she is going to get. He is basically running a psychological experiment on his own wife. Deacon could wait and find out if Sheila's going to go off the rails immediately. Will she start screaming? Will she start throwing things? Will she threaten him? Or will she cry? Will she beg? Will she try to be the understanding, perfect wife to win him back? If she acts somewhat normal, he can maybe ease her into the end of this marriage over a few months. A slow fade. But let's be honest with ourselves. This is Sheila Carter Sharp. We are talking about the woman does not do normal. She does not do understanding. She is obsessive. She is possessive. And she is incredibly dangerous when she feels cornered or abandoned. Of course, there could be a massive problem if Sheila becomes determined to figure out the real reason Deacon is pulling away. And Sheila's a lot of things, but she is not stupid. She has a sixth sense for betrayal. When Deacon gives her these flimsy excuses about needing space and reconnecting with his kids, she is going to know something is missing from the puzzle. She won't just accept it and move on. She will investigate. She will start snooping. She will check his phone. She will follow him when he leaves Il Giardino. She will interrogate the waitstaff. She will become a private detective fueled by paranoia and heartbreak. And that is the absolute worst case scenario for Deacon and Taylor, because Deacon is sloppy. He is not a criminal mastermind. He is going to leave a trail, a text message, a receipt, a lingering scent of Taylor's expensive perfume on his jacket. Sheila is going to find a clue. And when she pulls that thread, the whole sweater is going to unravel. Whatever the case, the bold and the beautiful spoilers say Sheila will get some unsettling news sooner or later. Unsettling is probably the understatement of the century. It is going to be earth-shattering news for her. Whether Deacon actually goes through with asking for the separation, or whether Sheila just catches him in a lie before he even gets the chance to ask the truth is coming out. The fake happiness is on a ticking clock. And when that clock strikes zero, the explosion is going to rock the entire canvas. I just keep thinking about the ripple effects of this, because it isn't just about Deacon, Sheila, and Taylor. It is about everyone connected to them. Think about Steffi. Steffi has been dealing with so much lately. She has the massive feud between the Forresters and the Logans blowing up her family. She has Brooke and Ridge sabotaging Katie's fashion launch. She has the whole Electra and Dylan drama at Forrester Creations, with Electra throwing violent tantrums in the showroom and demanding Dylan get fired. Steffi is already stretched to her absolute limit as a CEO and a peacekeeper. And now, on top of all that, her mother is about to ignite World War III with Sheila Sharp. Steffi is going to absolutely lose her mind. She told Taylor, she warned her repeatedly. She said, "Mom, stay away from Deacon. Sheila will kill you." And Taylor, in all her arrogant, lovesick glory, ignored her. When Sheila finds out that Taylor is the reason her marriage is falling apart, she isn't just going to be mad at Deacon. She is going to target Taylor. She is going to view Taylor as the woman who stole her husband. And we all know what Sheila does to women who cross her. She shoots them in dark alleyways. She leaves them for dead. She terrorizes them. Taylor is putting a massive target on her own back, and she is too blinded by her lust for Deacon to even care. And what about Deacon's kids? Hope is going to be so confused. On one hand, she will be thrilled that Deacon is finally leaving Sheila. That is all she has ever wanted. But on the other hand, he is leaving her for Taylor, the woman who has been a thorn in Brooke's side for decades. It is just trading one massive headache for another. The family dynamics are going to be so strained. Deacon thinks getting with Taylor will fix his image and bring his family back, but it might just create a whole new set of problems because nobody in their right mind is going to support this messy, secretive affair. But let's go back to Deacon's mindset for a second, because I am just fascinated by how broken this man's logic is. He really thinks he can control this situation. He thinks he can manage Sheila. He thinks he can say, hey, let's separate, and she will just nod and say, okay, honey, whatever you need. It is delusional. It is the arrogance of a man who thinks he is smarter than the predator he married. Deacon spent months trying to convince everyone that Sheila had changed, that she was rehabilitated. That love had softened her, and maybe he actually believed his own lies for a while. But the fantasy in bed proves he doesn't believe it anymore. He knows who she is, and he knows he needs to escape. But escaping Sheila is like trying to escape a black hole. Its gravitational pull just drags you back in and crushes you. If he asked for a separation, Sheila might play nice for a day or two. She might try to lure him back with more amazing nights in bed. She will try to remind him of why they got together in the first place. The shared trauma, the feeling of being outcasts against the world, she will play on his guilt. She will cry and say she has nobody else but him. And Deacon is weak. He might cave. He might pull back on the separation idea just to stop her from crying. And then the cycle will start all over again. He will be trapped, faking it, fantasizing about Taylor until he inevitably breaks again. It is a toxic, endless loop of misery. And the only way out is the truth. But the truth is lethal. So stay tuned, guys, because this storyline is a powder keg. We have a desperate man faking a marriage. We have a reckless